Good. Yep. Excellent. So, yeah, it's up. So, welcome, hello, and thank you. Very excited to be here. This is my second Odoo experience, and it's actually my second talk as well. I did an earlier talk around Salesforce migration to Odoo. Just to get started, if you want to take note of the pad for any questions that we can then go through at the end. Leave that up for a second. So this talk is going to be about Gravitai's experience with Odoo, from customer to partner. So who are Gravitai? So I'm the CEO and founder of Gravitai. We've been in operations 10 years. My own background is in solution architecture, primarily in Salesforce, and we've been helping clients for the last 10 years implement, support the Salesforce implementations and practices. As we go through this, we'll kind of explain how we came across Odoo, but we basically now run Odoo ourselves internally for our operations, and we have since built our own Odoo practice. So we not only now consult on Salesforce, we're also an Odoo Silver partner for implementation. So how do we start? Well, I think this is a very traditional slide as such. You'd be pretty much familiar with a lot of other talks. It's a very known statistic that most businesses run on a statistical report 130 applications across their business. Might be fewer for some, more for others. But it's a lot of applications needed to run a business, and that's exactly what happened with Gravitai. So when I founded the company in 2013, I was one person and going out doing consulting as an individual. So back then, it was quite easy to run a business in Excel. We had G Suite and we had a few other applications, and it sufficed. We were very happy running on that. But soon our business started to grow. We went to 10 employees by 2016, and with more employees then became the need for more software, more solutions. So by then we were a little bit more mature. We needed a CRM, so we couldn't afford the big Salesforce tools that we were inviously putting into clients. We looked at them and we wished we could have them. We wished we could afford them. We just couldn't do it. So we kind of built a tech stack of a variety of different applications, and that again sufficed for a period of time. The go-to person when everybody wanted a password reset was myself, so I was kind of building my own tech stack and supporting it as the CEO. Then it started growing further. Again, something I never imagined was going to ever happen with Gravitai. By 2020, during lockdown, we just accelerated growth. We had 84 employees, consultants working for us. And then it became a real headache. Again, the only people who knew, or person who knew the systems was myself. And I was basically the IT support and running business, and it just became unmanageable. We did sunset a few applications like G Suite. We migrated over to Office. We got rid of QuickBooks. We migrated to Xero, but it just wasn't making my life easy. So effectively, we were the shoemaker, and our children never wore shoes. We were always going into businesses telling them how they should run their operations with the best software, the best practices, but we weren't looking after our own operation. And it became known when we got to that stage of 84 people, it was just unmanageable. So one day I just set about, we had that headache and it was going, okay, we have to solve this. I can't keep going. So we put together a list of problem statements across the business. We gathered wish lists from each department. What do they want to see? What could solve them? And then we looked at what were we going to commit to. So there's a lot of problem statements and wish lists up here, but A couple of the problem statements that I would point out is that one person can't master everything, and that was becoming known to me. You know, everybody was wearing several hats of IT support, HR. I wasn't being a CEO. I was spending more time just running the day-to-day administration. But also onboarding and training was really difficult because you had to train people in all of these applications, and the adoption was really poor. People just couldn't get their head around all of these systems. So our wish list, again, primarily for me, was I wanted one system that could rule them all, that was easy to use. I could empower other people in my business, each department, and it had to be intuitive and easy to learn. We had to change very quickly. We needed to do it pretty much overnight. So we were looking at investment into this, and again, having done a lot of implementation projects, we knew that it wasn't something we were going to be able to just try and see for the best. We needed a system that we were going to invest into. And I put in for 3 years investment, and since then in June, I've invested a further 4 years into Odoo. And we basically put into 68 licenses. So we went in big at the very beginning. And like I said, we weren't here to try it. We had a few demonstrations of the platform. We've gone to road shows, etc. So we could see what it could do, but we just went deep feet in. So we took on Odoo ourselves. We were a group of techies, so we said we were going to implement it ourselves. It was risky. We didn't know the system, but being the way we are, we knew that if we were going to learn the system, we were going to do it ourselves. And because I've invested so heavily in it up front, I had to make it work. There was no option but to make it work from the beginning. So we started with pretty much one app first, which was website, and then we started expanding very quickly, more use cases day by day. So we took that kind of 3R approach of refinement. We looked across each department of the business. We identified what their processes were, where were there gaps, and what we could improve. So once we had that, then we basically implemented solution and then monitored what improvements we were getting from that. And as we basically identified the improvements, it allowed us to do reflection. You know, what could we have done better? What other applications we could use to improve other areas of the business? And it just entered a cycle. And we continue to this day in this same approach of identify, refine, monitor our resilience, reflection, and go again. What I would certainly point out here under resilience, and this is not made up numbers, I'm not here selling Odoo, I'm really telling you what it has made for me in our business. My own personal time dropped in 40 hours a month, and that was CEO time, so that was probably the biggest saving I could have made. So it paid back for itself very quickly. I could put that 40 hours back into refinement of finding the next thing I wanted to fix, and it just kept growing. Project profitability rose by 6%. So we could manage our projects a lot more efficiently. We could manage our resources, our team, so that we knew what resources we needed on what projects at what time. So we were making better use of our resources. And effectively, we had a 60% tech spend reduction as well, big saving. So though I had invested a lot into my licenses and my duration, I was saving more than I was actually spending. So as I put in more time to polish our shoes, that was the most important thing. We could actually spend more time in our business, refining our business. And being a consultancy agency, again, we're paid by the customer to do the work. So this is kind of non-chargeable work, but we were finding more time that we could actually improve our business. And most potentially, our time to quote that used to take 3 weeks to do, that reduced down 200%. You know, we really reduced down how quickly we could get quotations out to customers. What I would certainly point out as well on reflection and advice for others would be that commitment. Know that you're committing into this, that you're going to make it work. Too often I've seen clients like that trial the application and then complain that it didn't actually work. It's because they weren't really committed into making those changes. They expected the system just to magically resolve everything for them. You have to invest that time, look at each process, and start making the changes yourself. So with the success that we made then within Gravitai, we said, well, surely there's other customers we can help. And we started looking at our own internal Odoo team that we're now running our business. We said, well, we could make better utilization by helping other clients. So we set up our own practice. We then started working with Odoo, getting opportunities and leads, and just really getting out there with new customers, helping them implement, helping them learn from our experiences, you know, in our implementation as well. So where we support our operation, like I said now, we've been more efficient in our resources as well. So we're no longer 84 users, we're I think 54 users or employees. So we've shrank back. Well, that's also because our projects fluctuate. Customers don't always need the full amount of resource. So we're able to fluctuate our resources. And our resources are also spread across the UK. So we are virtual. We're a virtual business that, again, all work remotely. And that allows us with our clients, as well as international clients spread from Mexico down to Australia, that we're able to support clients both on their Salesforce implementation or their Odoo implementations as well, or any other tech stack that they have. We go in agnostic, we understand your business, your processes, and then we map that to the technology and the solution. And a lot of the time we encourage Odoo because it's a phenomenal piece of kit. The industries that we then work across was another area we actually had to look at and address. We accumulated something like over 15 industries, clients. We wanted to kind of focus on industries, professional industries or specialist industries that we could gain more and more experience with. So a lot of our clients are multi-year retained. So some of clients are about 8 years with us. So we really have invested into specific areas that we become expert in. Another tip that I would suggest to any potential customer or even partners out there is really work with your Odoo partners, partner managers, account managers as well. I thought I saw Sarah at the back of the room. She is. So it's really important because both as a partner, an Odoo implementation partner, you want to make sure that you're giving the best service, but also to the client's account manager, you want to ensure that the client is actually getting the best service from you as well. And it's being open and transparent in your communication, your feedback. It really works. I really enjoy the partnership we have with Odoo. I think it's one of the best partnerships of all of the software vendors we have. Now, we've really kind of gone to town recently as well with our belief in Odoo. I think it's a phenomenal product. We have our own Drinking the Purple Juice newsletter that if you subscribe into it, we do weekly updates that, again, give you industry news about Odoo, best practices, tips, etc. So really invest into the community. Attend roadshows. If you're a partner, look at sponsoring roadshows. It's not about the opportunities and leads you get from that, but it's about the networking. It's about getting yourself out there, hearing how customers are using it, taking that feedback and again, optimizing and improving. Now, this has been quite a whistle-stop tour as well. I thought I was going to talk a lot longer, but it's been a lot shorter. If anybody's wanting to consult one-to-one about your own practice, reach out to us. We're located in the other building in Hall 7. We do partner, sub-partner with others as well. We're, again, around making solutions for customers. So we go in co-branded with clients that if we have the right solution for the client, we introduce your business into that as well. It's all really about making the client successful and the client happy. And really, I thought I had a bit more time. I was prepared for a few more slides, but I thought let's keep it open for any questions people have as well.
Okay, thank you for this inspiring talk. I have one question. What was the most important learning when launching yourself in the Odoo partnership?
Ooh,
interesting question.
Don't try to boil the ocean. So we had a lot of internal problems. We recognized that. We were again very heavy based on all of our existing processes. So we knew that we could do better. So we learned a lot about our business. You have to kind of self-reflect in what you have, how you're selling it, what your products are. And then you build this big problem. You recognize actually there's so much you have to do. But don't try to boil the ocean. Just try to take application or process one at a time. Solve it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but get it in, test it, use it, and then iterate your development. Come back and make more optimizations and changes. And it's a continuing investment. And that goes the same with the client. Make sure that they're continuously using the system, learning from it, and optimizing.
Thank you for this very complete answer.
Yep.
Maybe next question, also interesting. What was the biggest challenge when shifting from Salesforce to Odoo?
I don't think there was a biggest challenge on it. It was, for us, quite straightforward. We knew the Salesforce operations, the Salesforce systems, the data. We had to learn Odoo. So we had to invest into that, understanding the data models, etc. But it was a real no-brainer, to be honest, for us. It was like-for-like functionality. Effectively, what we looked at is what Salesforce apps and clouds do they have to solve the problem, and build the list. Look at the cost of that, look at the cost of Odoo, and again, you see that they're very comparative in terms of functionality, so it came down to us cost.
Okay, thank you. Other question, how do you train your consultants for Odoo?
Really good question. I like that. So training, again, we have taken junior developers who didn't know Odoo. They might have had Python backgrounds and SQL backgrounds. We've put them onto the Odoo, Amy Caroline's videos, get them introduced, really build up their foundational functional knowledge. There's the Odoo Developer Days. We've put them on those. We've done peer review or peer programming, so sit them with a more experienced developer and build their understanding. And then it's really just getting hands-on experience. There's nothing better than just really getting a problem statement from a customer and like a lot of the work that I still do is in architecture. So I'll architect the solution and give it to a developer for them to develop off my design, my solution. And it's that hands-on experience. It just really accelerates their growth. And then they get certified, and we've got a really great team, all based in the UK, of developers for that reason.
Okay, great. Do you take the Odoo certification?
Sorry?
Do you take the Odoo certification?
Yes. Yeah. So we're Odoo. I think we're one of our consultants is ex-Odoo, and she's got 11 right up to 16. As soon as the 17 certification is out, we'll be doing a 17 certification as well.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think the next question you already answered to it in the presentation, but maybe make a little reminder about your sectors or industries in which you specialized, or your business preferences.
Another really great question. We, again, took on projects regardless of what industry client there was. So we kind of started saying yes to everything at first, and that is why we built all of those industries. What we started kind of applying between the different industries is you'll find the same practices, the same processes that you kind of use in each other industry, so using that experience. But where we had to just focus was what are the ones we really wanted to go after, and things like automotive, fibre broadband were really expanding in the UK. That's where we were seeing money, basically, and that's where we wanted to then concentrate on that. Professional sports is probably my favorite, to be honest. You can do a lot of fun stuff with that.
Okay, thank you. Next interesting question. How did you handle change management?
How did I, sorry?
Handle change management.
Oh, handle, sorry. So again, a lot of our business, we're somewhat small at the time. So though we had a lot of consultants, the changes that we were making to our own business was run through our department leads. So it was coming from myself down to my management team. And that was, again, spread between the sales, the marketing, the HR. So as we were then identifying those areas of improvement, the changes, the optimizations were basically being configured within the application by our own team. They're aware of what was happening. So the communication was also key for that as well. So each department lead was in charge of their area, in charge of their improvements, communicating it out, and then training, using effectively, we didn't have a single point of contact that we do with clients because we were internal, but each of my single point of contacts were my department leads. They were responsible for the change management in their own department, communicating it out, training, adoption, and upskilling and support.
Okay, thank you. We still have 3 questions left.
Oh, wow.
If you could turn the clock back, what should you do differently?
Oh, another phenomenal question. If I had found Odoo a lot earlier, I would have implemented Odoo from the beginning and solved many years of headaches and support. It's a hands down. That, and I suppose the second area that we have learned as a business was in our staff augmentation of how we did or do projects. Certainly on the Salesforce side, we relied heavily on subcontract consultants. We've changed that with Odoo. All of our Odoo employees are actually perm employees now as well. So that was a key learning that we quickly switched. Okay, perfect, thank you. So we are running a bit out of time. Maybe last question that was asked, Guinness or Belgian beer? Oh, Guinness. Pure Guinness, definitely. Yeah, Belgian beer is nice, but I can't avoid the black stuff. Okay, thank you so much. 5 points for that question. Thank you, guys.